Hello! In this video I'm going to tell you about money transfer fraud, what it is and how it works, as well as how to spot fraudsters' attempts to rob you and a few examples of this wire transfer scam. I hope this video be useful and you will be able to avoid similar scam schemes. Let's begin. Bank transfer scams have steadily risen over the past few years with the move to online banking. This graphics clearly explains the rise of this evil. Understanding money transfer scams, its different types that exist, can be complicated, but I'll try to explain it. Wire transfers are a fast and easy way to send money to individuals and businesses. As wire transfer are an immediate form of payment and typically irreversible, they are frequently used in fraud schemes. According to the FTC, around $300 million were lost to wire transfer fraud last year. Someone that you have never met in person is asking for money. This is the biggest red flag for fraud. If you're in a long-distance relationship with someone you've never met in person, be wary of possible fraud.
If they start asking for money,
the reality is fraudsters are professionals and they'll do whatever it takes to get their hands on your cash. When it comes to that new love, overseas inheritance or investment opportunity, if you can't meet them in person, you should think twice before sending your hard-earned money. Wire fraud is when a scammer poses as a trusted source, usually a vendor, company or family member, and requests an immediate wire transfer of funds. The fraudster will usually play up the urgent need for the funds, often claiming an emergency as a way to emotionally manipulate you. However, the victim soon realizes that he didn't send funds to a trusted source and have no way of getting that money back. If this happens at a place of business, the fraudster could pose as someone in upper management or a company vendor, making them believe that they are sending money to a trusted source. Additionally, scammers will sometimes pose as a family member or love interest. A classic wire fraud scenario is the Nigerian prince who cannot access funds and promises a big pay return if the victim wires funds immediately. Scammers have also been known to pose as a distant relative, a grandchild, or maybe someone you have only met briefly. Scammers will create a fake emergency scenario, prompting the victim to wire funds in order to help. What makes wire fraud so appealing to fraudsters is that they are almost impossible to trace. Wire transfers are immediate, and scammers will often have funds transferred out of the country, leaving the victim with no way to recover the lost funds. Bank transfer fraud is one of the most common types of fraud. To carry out this type of fraud, scammers usually use identity theft. To this end, they collect information about the targets through phishing. Using fake URLs, ransomware, viruses, deepfakes, and others, they manage to obtain the personal information of future victims through social engineering. Money transfer scam artists may pose as a bank, legal professional, or an official. Bank transfer fraud victims are often rushed into making a decision by the fraudster, who creates a sense of urgency about the situation. Sometimes a money transfer scam will involve the fraudster targeting the victim's fears. They may send messages to individual threatening job loss or prison sentence, for example, if the required payment isn't transferred immediately. Communications from fraudsters, including texts, emails, or social media messages, may include grammatical errors or bad links that don't actually go where they're supposed to. At first, contact appears to be from a trustworthy source, such as a bank or the police. However, this could turn out to be a fraudster impersonating the organization. It is worth remembering that trusted organizations will never contact an individual requesting full password or PIN information. A link in an unexpected email or text could potentially be a phishing link, where the victim is tricked into providing personal information. What's more, opening unexpected emails and clicking on bad links can trigger viruses. Viruses can infect a computer with malware that can capture all the information entered into the device, such as password and credit card numbers. Scammers know that once you wire money to them, there's usually no way to get your money back. They can pick up your money at any of the wire transfer company's locations. It's nearly impossible to identify who picked up the money or track them down. Never wire money to anyone you haven't met in person, who says they work at a government agency or a well-known company, who pressures you into paying immediately, who says a wire transfer is the only way you can pay. One of the best ways you can prevent wire fraud is to never send funds to someone you don't know. Even if the person claims to be someone famous and has fallen on hard times or unexpected circumstances, this could be a tactic used to manipulate you. Criminals are constantly finding new ways to steal your money. Protect yourself by knowing how to spot red flags. It can be difficult to keep up with all the methods criminals employ to separate you from your money, personal information, and sense of security. They could try to contact you via phone, email, postmail, text, or social media, posing as loved ones in need, government agencies, or charitable organizations. Against all that, how do we protect our money and personal information? The best protection against scammers is knowledge. You need to be able to identify warning signs to avoid falling into a criminal's trap. With this knowledge, you'll be aware if a friend or relative is being targeted by a fraud scheme. In this video, you will find the most common scams, the warning signs for each, and what you can do when someone is being targeted for fraud. Broadly speaking, all scams rely on a confidence scheme, where scammer poses as a legitimate business, government organization, or someone familiar to you. The scammer uses this fake identity to deceive, intimidate, or coerce you into giving up your money or personal information. This can include in-person contact, email, SMS messages sent via messaging apps. Here are some common methods scammers will use in their scam attempts, the red flags you should look out for, and what you can do to protect yourself. In every case, you should never give out or confirm your personal, financial, or other sensitive information, like your bank account, credit card, social security number, unless you can verify the identity of the company or person you are talking to. Phishing is one of the most common methods scammers use to contact their victims. They will use spam to bait consumers into disclosing sensitive personal information, such as social security, credit card, personal identification numbers, passwords, and other private information. Scammers will often select a business that their target does business with. The fraudsters tell the email recipients they need to update or validate their billing information to keep their accounts active.